Hi everyone, I'm Druiett. I'm the principal performing artist for Wessex Tubas, and I just got back this morning from Washington DC, where I was with Wessex at the US Army Band Tuba and Euphonium Conference. So I first met Jonathan at the International Tuba and Euphonium Conference in 2012 in Linz, Austria. I won one of the big competitions, and he was actually sat next to my dad at the Winners Gala concert, where I played solo with one of the big wind bands in Austria in the Brucknerhaus. We knew each other kind of, briefly, let's say, and then when I saw he started Wessex Tubas and I saw the company was growing very, very quickly. We had some contact when I was 21, when I was living, studying and working in Brussels, and we just talked about what was possible. He was looking for someone to kind of be like the performing face of the company and play the instruments on tour and also help develop new models. And yeah, that's what we've been doing. My father is an opera singer, so when I was growing up, if I was in trouble at school or whatever, and you get sent home, I would go find my dad in an opera house, and I'd sit in on the rehearsals, and I just thought it was such a fascinating world. And it was, it's theatre, it's everything, it's music, it's visual. It's so next level. Hearing the music, seeing also the instruments in the pit of the theatre or the opera house. I just thought it was incredible that you could express yourself in another way, transcend in some kind of way. I just thought it was absolutely amazing. That definitely helped me a lot, because I had the kind of idea of singing through the tuba, because I would do the kind of these vocalese exercises like Bordoni. If you're a tuba player watching this, if you don't know Bordoni, you should. My dad would sing it, and then he would say to me, okay, now you play it. And not so much about technique or, what's going on. Because normally in my experience, unless there's like a glaring, huge problem with someone's playing, if they're thinking about the music and they hear the tuba in their head, it works itself out. To overthink it, everybody has different lips, they have different teeth, they have a different jaw. Everyone's completely different. So don't try and imitate someone that you love how they play purely because they love how you play, because they're a completely different person. And if it feels good, normally it works. I left England when I was 16 to basically pursue my dreams simply. I fell in love with the sound of the continental instruments, which is, it's a different sound, especially from the common instruments that are used here. And, one like this, for example. First I was in the Netherlands, then I went to Belgium, then I was in Germany for a bit, and yeah, now I live in Poland. My favorite Wessex experience was probably the month-long tour we did on the west coast of America. The top of Washington State down to California for a month. That was fun. Playing concerts all around the world, American tours from east to west coast, playing concerts to people interested and specifically came to listen, and also just on a personal level. You grow up and you see all of the films and TV shows in LA and in California in particular, and then suddenly you're there. All that kind of thing has been absolutely amazing. To be perfectly honest, something I learned on tour was that you can't always rely on having to do a really long warm-up, because there was one time in Pennsylvania, one of many, but this is just one of the ones I can remember right now. The concert was at, I think, 3 p.m, but we were so delayed because of a snowstorm. We were going to arrive there at like 4:35 p.m. So when we actually arrived there, the audience had been sat in the hall waiting, which was very, very kind of them, and there literally wasn't the opportunity to warm up. So I just had to, take the tuba out of the case. The pianist, very kindly, he was playing some stuff for the audience just to, have something going. And then you just have to take the tuba from the case and just go on stage and just do it. So I think with the warm-up stuff, of course, when you start playing in the day, you check the basic things, you play a scale or whatever. And if there's some things that you feel not so comfortable with or you feel you have to work on, then you'll do that. But if it feels good, then you can get straight to making music. And I think it's nice to kind of have that spontaneity and have the freedom to just go for it, rather than thinking that you can't go ahead unless you've done your, 20-minute or 1-hour routine or something. Sometimes you don't always have 20 minutes or an hour. Sometimes you just have to jump in. The instrument that was here before, the Kaiser, that's quite large, and the case is also quite large. That is one thing that you have to be prepared that if you go to a check-in desk or whatever, they will see you coming, because I mean you can't miss the thing. They may be a bit afraid, but it's not necessary because the tuba will survive. But with this, it was always super easy because it's light, the case is lightweight.
Well, we've just flown back with this tuba today.
Yeah.
And it came out on the conveyor belt with all the suitcases.
When I'm traveling with my various tubas, especially if you are brave enough to buy another seat and put it next to you, people will be very surprised and they won't believe that you have bought an extra seat. When you're queuing in to board the plane or whatever, you'll hear people behind you like whispering things like, oh, how am I going to get on the plane if he's taking that? How can I only take this small bag and he's taking that? And then you can get some absolute gems from the security check when they ask you what it is. And sometimes, if you're feeling confident, you can ask them, what do you think it is? Things I've heard people say is that a piano? Is that a harp? Is that a drum? That's always fun. And sometimes, especially if it's very in the morning, most of the time I just say yes. No, for embarrassing, I mean, I never fell off a stage so far, touch wood. I didn't have anything thrown at me yet, surprisingly. Well, it was a different company, it wasn't Wessex, but I had a super cool, trendy, different water key. Like, instead of this, it was this thing where, you know, you push it and it's like opens the chamber. I was playing a recital and I pushed it and the whole thing fell off. So then I had a hole on the slide, so I had to play the tuba like, you know, covering the hole, and that was a bit awkward.
But that was not Wessex.
But that was not Wessex. That was not Wessex. Maybe some people would consider, you know, if you go really hard and you have to empty out the mystery liquid. Maybe some people would find that embarrassing, but that's just part of the fun.
We've had some adventures while we've been on tour.
Oh, God.
Including almost setting a restaurant in Switzerland on
fire.
Yeah,
no, this is a good one. This is a good story. It was the very first tour. I was 21. We were in a really nice restaurant, a hotel restaurant in Switzerland on a lake. And we were talking actually about the British F tuba and like...
I just acquired the instrument and we excitedly discussed how we were going to develop it and put it into production.
Oh, maybe we could put it into production, maybe we could bring it back from the dead. And we were so excited about it. And so, like, we were locked in the conversation.
It was in the very early days and we were so excited about it.
And it was a nice restaurant, so there was a bread basket with, you know, like a kind of napkin cloth over it and candles around. So we were, you know, snacking on some bread, talking about bringing back the British F.
And Will was saying that that's just the tuba he wants to be playing in recitals. It's the sound that he wants to be making.
We had no idea that the napkin from the bread had caught fire. So the manager guy came over and was like visibly concerned that we set the table on fire, but we had no idea. That's one of the stories I can tell. In the future, something I'm really excited for is a new F tuba model from a really special heritage and tradition. And I can't say anything really about it now, but it will be something really special.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you in future videos.
We won't talk about the snowstorm and also the horse farm. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about the horse farm.
We don't talk about the horse farm. No one needs to know anything more about that.